crazy duck in space. Oh, I hope you keep me in the will. You could buy the moon and say, put it on my bill. Oh, sorry, this episode made me think of old Grand Theft Auto videos. So, Season 2 of DuckTales continues with the episode Whatever Happened to Della Duck, in which we finally learn whatever happened to Della Duck. So yeah, an entire episode devoted to Della, that's something new and refreshing, and it answers some interesting questions, like how the hell did she survive in space for so long? As it turns out, she is chewing Oxy-Chew, a nice callback to the DuckTales video game, the remaster to be precise, where it was introduced to explain why Scrooge can breathe in space.
Now, Gyro, why in blazes are we chewing this awful blue muck?
Why, that's Oxy-Chew, Mr. McDuck. It's my latest invention, oxygen-flavored taffy. 5 good chews and you can breathe on the lunar surface without a spacesuit. Oh, and it tastes great, too.
That, Gyro, is a matter of opinion.
That's actually pretty clever, though admittedly it does raise my suspension of disbelief a little bit that 1 pack of gum is enough to sustain Della for a decade. Did Gyro steal Willy Wonka's formula for the everlasting gobstopper to develop that stuff? But okay, I can live with that explanation I guess, and I'm with Della. Black licorice is disgusting. Perhaps the most shocking thing about this episode is the reveal that Della actually lost a leg in the accident and replaced it with a robot leg. Now the indication is that she cut it off to free herself, which is surprisingly dark. It also helped to establish Della's scientific know-how right off the bat as she built it herself and is already wondering how she could improve it, making it rather apparent that she is not just impulsive, but also a talented engineer. But as it turns out, rocket science is a bit more complicated than that, and it takes her quite a few years to figure out how to repair the spaceship using Gyro's manual. Well, crafting artificial limbs and building a rocket are 2 different skill sets, I guess. I still think it's a bit weird that the spear of Celine is running on gold. Just seems a bit out of character for Scrooge to allow Gyro to turn gold into fuel, but admittedly it is a somewhat funny idea and makes for a better plot point than Della looking for fossil fuel like all on the moon. Also, the idea that Scrooge forced Della to the dentist to get gold filling so she always has a nugget of emergency gold with her does sound like something Scrooge would come up with. You never know when you need a piece of gold after all, especially as an adventurer. Also, there's life on the moon, a big monster and a child, and apparently an entire population of aliens. This is an interesting revelation, alright, but frankly I'm not a particular fan of how the show decided to handle it. The monster basically just existed to mess with Della for years, and it's kinda weird that over 10 years it is the only living thing Della had any contact with. Why couldn't she have stumbled over the alien civilization sooner? Well, all those Egyptian ruins we saw in the Legend of the Three Caballeros for the matter. Yeah, I know it's a different show. 10 years alone on the freaking moon is more than enough to drive someone crazy. And I think it's a bit unnecessarily cruel towards Della. Frankly, until this episode was aired, I assumed that the cosmic storm sent her forward in time a couple of years and that she basically just arrived in the present during the Shadow War. But no, she spent all that time alone up there. Even if you want her on the moon for the entire decade, was it really necessary to have her alone all the time? She could have lived among the aliens for a couple of years. Just say that they don't have the means to go to Earth right away, or that they pretend not to have them. It would barely make any difference. The aliens themselves are alright, I guess. I like the banter with Della, and I'm somewhat intrigued how this will develop. There's obviously more to them, and the end of the episode implies that they might have some sinister plans. Most likely they will be set up as villains for future episodes. But admittedly, I hope they don't become the focus of the Season 2 finale, as I hope that this would be Glomgold's chance to shine. I wouldn't like him to be overshadowed by an alien invasion, but then again, considering the fact that they have so much gold that they don't know what to do with it, it is more than likely that they will play an important role in settling the wager Scrooge and Glomgold made back in the Ballad of Duke Bellamy. Either Scrooge gets his hands on it last minute, or it is a plot point that the aliens help Glomgold to win the bet, or a combination of both. Frankly, I would have preferred if they had kept the aliens out of the show for now. I mean, aliens are nothing new to DuckTales, but I still could have done without them. Well, then there's of course Della herself. Beside her appearance as a child in Last Christmas, this is the first time we get to see her as an actual character. Whereas I compared child Della to Webby, adult Della certainly is more Dewey's mom. Her entire attitude, from her hot-headedness to the way she speaks, is very reminiscent of Dewey, though she does have a bit of Huey thrown in as well, as seen with her technical know-how and her old Junior Woodchuck guidebook. Admittedly, I don't see much of Louie in her though. I guess he comes more after his father, whoever that is. Instead, Della also shown to be very much Donald's sister, as she shows to act very similar to him when angry or frustrated, even commenting on that it is good that Donald is not around to see her after she ripped apart that rocket manual. So she would probably not like to admit that she can be like him. Also, there is that scene with the birthday cake, which is rather reminiscent of that Donald's birthday short they released before the series premiered proper. And I'm not sure if this was intentional or just a coincidence, but it highlights the similarities between the two even further. In any case, Della is very much a fun character. She sells the episode and I can't wait to see more of her. That being said, I still have a hard time believing that she jumped into the rocket just because, needlessly endangering herself shortly before her babies were born. And I think this episode's greatest flaw is that Della never addresses this, like giving us a reason or just a recording of an apology, admitting that she was reckless and that she regrets it. 5 seconds would have been enough. Sure, I get it. She is hot-headed and lust for adventure, but it makes her look rather stupid and self-centered regardless. At least this episode makes it apparent that she wants to see her boys and that she would be a loving mother. The will to see her boys is probably the only thing that keeps her sane up there. And of course, this theme of motherhood is reflected at the end during her interaction with the moon monster, where she is unwilling to fight it and even gives up her one shot at going home when she sees that the monster is a mother that only wants to take care of a child. This brings us of course to her lullaby. I already liked how they incorporated the moon theme from the DuckTales video game into the last scene of the Shadow War. I was rather surprised to see that they used it here again. Not only an upbeat version for a small montage, but also a somber version with lyrics that are a bit different than the ones Brental Floss came up with. And when she started to sing to that tune, it was admittedly a bit hard not to tear up. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, and with that being said, let's wrap things up. Whatever Happened to Della Duck is a great episode. It is very funny, introduces us properly to a great character and hits all the right emotional beats. While I don't like the fact that Della really spent 10 years alone on that rock, and I would have liked this episode to elaborate on some other stuff, these are in the end some rather minor complaints. This again is now a contender for my favorite episodes list. So far, all of season 2 has been great, and I can't wait to see what comes next. But what about you? Did you like this episode? Anything that bothered you? What are your thoughts on Della? Let me know in the comments. I am Tricky Fox. Stay foxy.
Sly as a fox, you got me under your spell. But you know I'll never tell that I know you know so well. Sometimes